sugar daddy. Someone who can make love. She says she want a good man. Someone who can beat it up. She says she want a sugar daddy. Someone who can pay her rent. Pay her bills, give her thrills, yeah. And money she can spend. I met this woman named
Sugar Daddy.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Sugar Shack.
Man, thank you for having me.
Man, thank you for doing this interview. I really appreciate it. It's
No
my
problem,
pleasure. My pleasure. So let's go ahead and start. You're out of Louisiana, right?
Yeah, I'm originally from California, but I live in Louisiana.
Okay. All right. How long have you been in Louisiana?
Since 2014, so I guess coming up on 7 years in October.
Mm-hmm. All right. What part of California are you from?
Man, South Central Los Angeles.
South Central.
Yes, that part of South.
Oh, okay. What area?
I live off of 74th and Central Avenue.
Okay.
You know, I went to Fremont High School, Locke High School. You know, rough little neighborhood.
Yeah. So what? That's the Hoopers area?
No, it's the East Coast. It's 5'9", 7'6", 8'9", 6 dudes, 6'8", 6'9", those, you know, in the area where I live at.
Okay. All right. Wow. So were you ever involved in this?
Yeah, man, I did the East Coast Crip thing, you know. That's when I was raised, you know.
How did you get involved in the Crips? I mean, just
honestly, I think it was a form of peer pressure, just hanging around certain individuals who formed I guess you say an alliance, and that alliance eventually transformed into being a gang. You know, first it started off with 7-6 East Side Crips, and then it emerged into a big conglomerate per se, because it's First Street, 4 Trey, 5'9", 6 Dude, 6'6", 6'8", 6'9", 7'6", 8'9", Q102, 18, 11'8", and 190, which is Carson. So it's a big fraction.
Gee whiz. Okay. I don't even know.
We talking about years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
So did you get out of the gang, or how?
Yeah, I mean, as you get older, you begin to establish new values in life. And things that become dear to you, like if you have children, those become your gang, because now you're a leader of a clan that you have to lead in a prosperous way. Even though I don't have any children, but I think that what really forced me out of the gang legally per se, because they said once you're in it, you can't get out until you die. But I think what's got me was out. I think my participation was not up to par anymore, because I became a drug addict, you know. So ain't nobody gonna want a drug addict doing, you know, illegal crime, even doing something to represent the gang with them.
Yeah, and I was about to ask you about the time that you came up in LA. That's the time of Freeway Ricky Ross.
That is correct.
Higher crack at the beginning.
The whole West Side.
Uh-huh.
That's right. He ran the whole West Side.
Yeah.
And quiet as kept, even some areas, even on East Side, but I think, I'm not saying this for valid, there's no doubt in my mind, I believe that he probably supplied drugs to those on the East Side to make the people on the East Side feel like they was the man, per se. So, yeah.
Okay. So, but you said that you were a drug addict. What was your drug of choice?
Man, I was hooked on crack real bad, man.
To
the point where I lost respect for family, friends, others, including self. You know, I did things that I'm not proud of. Nothing of a real bad nature, but eating out of garbage cans, sleeping in alleys, you know, stealing from family and friends, you know, lying and doing everything to support what became a $300 a day habit, you know.
Yeah. From the people who did crack, they always talk about their first time hitting it.
Yes. Cold thing.
Do you remember the first time?
I remember the first time I was I was 16 years old, mind you. I was walking to the store and I saw two of my older friends sitting in the car. And what drew my attention was I seen this flame. And I'm like, what the hell? And I looked and I waved at them and they said, man, come here, man. So I get in the car and I'm like, man, what the hell y'all doing? I said, man, we smoking crack. I said, what the hell is that? Man, a rich man's high, you know. So it was my homeboy DJ and Shitbird, call him Shitbird. And he was like, man, go on, Parakeet, try this, man. I'm like, no, man, come on, try this. He was scary, he has. So what I did was he put a piece on there for me, and he burnt it, and I hit it, and hey man, this is nothing, man. He said, no, man, you didn't hit it this time. This is where the fun really begins, because what he did was he melted the crack into the screen. So now he said, pull it real slow. So I pulled it real slow. And then it seemed like my whole head got euphoria. I was like, whoa. Then I felt a sensation, at the bottom of my scrotum. I'm like, what the hell is this? And so it's like when I exhale, it seemed like my whole world changed. Everything changed. Horrible experience. It was good that first time, but it was a horrible experience. And I think from after that, my high began to grow. And I was always trying to chase that very, very first one and get that euphoria feeling, and it changed. It's whole, like that. They have a saying that says, man, give me something so I can get a head change. I understand what they mean. The change from the normal state of being. So.
Wow. So, but how did you end up? But you went to prison. Did crack send you to prison?
Yes, crack sent to prison. In 1990, I was involved in an armed robbery. I really didn't do anything, but I'm guilty because I was there.
Yeah.
And I sat in the back seat and I watched a lady get robbed. And one of my homeboys got out the car and pulled a pistol on him. And his name is Vincent. Rest in peace, Vincent. He died not too long ago. He pulled a gun out on the lady, and she had a necklace around her, and it had a charm that said "Try God." And he reached out and he snatched it. And when he snatched it, I knew it was over with. I knew we was all going to jail. And we went to jail.
How long did you spend in?
When I initially went, I went to jail for being a principal or being with somebody who had a gun, joyriding under the vehicle code section 108.10851, which means that driving or taking the owner's car without their permission, joyriding.
Yeah.
And I got caught, and I was also charged for accessory to a robbery, an armed robbery. So they gave me, I went to trial and I lost, and they gave me 24 years. Wow. But here's the cold thing. When I was incarcerated, the only real support and family that I had was my great-grandmother, Mama Core. Rest in peace, Mama Core. She, raised me when I was young because my mom was on drugs. And while I was incarcerated, she passed away. So I really had no support to, everybody's like, because of the drug addiction, everybody threw me to the wolves. Like, you ain't gonna, ain't nobody doing nothing for you, man. You done got on, you done stole from this, you done did this, you done did this. People looking for you to kill you because I was selling people fake dope. I was doing the whole 9 yards. I was living a very, very bad life. I did people wrong. Stole from families, stole from friends, stole from neighbors. They didn't call the police on me. They did bad. But in 1995, while I was incarcerated, I got caught with marijuana in prison. And it took me back to court and gave me 25 years to life.
Yeah, I saw on the news that it made headlines.
It did. I made national television. CBS, Aaron Moriarty of 48 Hours interviewed me. Talk about how I became somewhat of the poster boy for the 3 strikes. Because in 1994, legislation proposed a bill, Proposition 84, which requires that any third felony conviction, whether minute, large, or whatever, any third one will require you spending 25 years in life. And I find it ridiculous because it's almost as if you could go in the store and steal a piece of gum. And if you have 2 or more prior convictions, they're going to give you a life sentence. So basically, you would get the same amount of time a person would get who shoots somebody and kill them. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But while incarcerated, I didn't just sit in there and just do nothing. I have changed my life. I'm proud of that event.
After more than 20 years in prison, Aaron Collins was released May 7th, facing a very different future than the one he faced before Prop 36 passed last November.
I mean, I earned 6 college degrees. And then I have 2 published books. And they're on Amazon and Books A Million and Borders Books and even Barnes & Noble. So
what are your degrees in?
I have a degree in business. I have a degree in law. I have a degree in arts and humanity. I have a degree in sociology and social behavior sciences, liberal arts, and I think that's it. That's all I can remember. Yeah. They all A's, but they are in fact degrees. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, and you got 2 books.
I have 2 books, yeah.
And what are the name of those?
One book is called The Criminal Law Cookbook.
Mm-hmm.
And I created a criminal law cookbook in which basically they are everyday recipes. But I use it, when I say criminal law, I use a legal terminology to define or to describe the recipe. For instance, prosecutor's pancakes, misdemeanor margarita, you know, like, you know, pro bono biscuits, or, you know, felony fruit salad, you know, something like that. So it became, you know, and people liked it was a twist. It was a creative stance, and that's what I did, and people liked it, you know.
Yeah. And the other book?
The other book is called Crack Dreams. It's about the 7 horrible years of my drug addiction. Mm-hmm. And it talks about things in there that I've done. It talks about, you know, but me being incarcerated and losing several family members to death. It was just, you know, crack dreams, you know.
Now, take me back. Now, you spent 23
3 years straight in prison.
Yeah. So how did you end up getting out?
By the grace of God, man. What happened was that Californians said that, wait a minute, enough is enough. You're sending too many people to jail for 25 years of life on minute crimes. They said that is wasting a big part of taxpayers' money. They said, okay, look, hold on. This is what we're going to do. You fix it. You fix it. And the next time somebody get in trouble, if the crime is violent, or if it meets the serious or violent criteria, then go ahead and give them a life sentence. But if it's a minute crime like stealing something out the store, that's petty theft.
Yeah.
Burglarizing can be categorized as a serious or a non-violent, meaning that if you break into somebody's house while they're at home, if they catch you, either you want to do something to them and they're gonna do something to you. That is a violent nature.
Yeah.
You don't want that one.
Yeah.
Because you're stuck, you know. And receiving stolen property or joyriding, things that does not raise the level of aggravated charges. So
yeah. Huh. And that's what the law passed.
yes, the law passed in 1994, and it required that in order for you to be qualified, you cannot have in your past rape, molestation, or murder, which I didn't have any of that. And your third offense, they gave you the life sentence, must be non-violent. And my charge was just marijuana.
Yeah.
So
how'd you get caught with?
What happened was somebody had went to visiting, and I think he was bringing drugs back for my roommate, and he got caught. And when he got caught, he told on all the drug dealers. So I had some marijuana. I had it stashed in my little underwear. You know, I had some tidy whities, I guess, and I wore them with boxes on top because with the tidy whities they had like a little pocket right there, so you can hide, you know, right there. So if they was to pat you down, they ain't gonna feel it. So the elite correctional officers came in there, made me get naked, and he grabbed my underwear and he felt it, handcuffed me and took me away. So yep, it's a horrible experience, but I thank God it's over with. You know.
Yeah.
I'm on this side talking to you.
Yes, sir. Yeah. What was your first day like back in society?
I think one of the biggest things I wanted to do was just inhale all the fresh air because it was different. I had been away for 23 years. Little kids who I watched as little baby, now grown adults, have children and stuff, and neighbors, a lot of neighbors had passed away that I didn't even know about, you know. I remember going over to a neighbor's house, an older guy, knocking on the door, and somebody answered. No, his grandson answered. I said, man, where Mr. Roberts at? Man, Papa passed away, and I didn't know that, you know. So it was a grueling transition back into society. But one of the biggest things that kept me afloat is that I act like as if I never left. Like I didn't ever leave. Yeah. So it allowed for me to go just get right back in. Yeah. But there's some things like, one of the biggest things I think I was per se temporarily institutionalized because normally in prison when you go shower you have your shower shoes on. Yeah. So I'm at home with shower shoes on in the shower. Yeah. And I said, what the hell am I doing? I'm tripping for real. Yeah. So I finally grew out of that. Yeah. And I am here today to basically tell you my story, man.
So how did you end up in Louisiana? What prompted you to leave the West Coast?
Well, to be truthful with you, when I left, when I got out of Louisiana, things started to get rough. So I relapsed back on drugs. And my auntie, Pam, shout out to you, Pam, she suggested that I get a new life. And that new life included me getting out of California. So I came to Louisiana, and I stayed with my grandmother, kind of took care of her, and did pretty good for a while, and relapsed again. This time I relapsed, I think I had blood in my stool and felt that I had cancer, and I guess it was a fake excuse that I used just in order to get high again. So I have been floating back and forth, you know, and then I go to jail, get out, ask God to help me. You know, he started off helping me, then I tell God to get back, I got it, and then I fall again. So I think I fell about, for the last time, about a year and a half ago. And then what I did is that I asked God for help again. And this time I let him drive. I just kicked back. So every morning when I wake up, I thank him for waking me up. I thank him for another day sober. I remember when I was in rehab, they say, tomorrow I'll get high, but today I'm going to get sober. I'm going to stay sober. And we will repeat that every day. Tomorrow, man, I'm going to get high, but today I'm going to stay sober, man. So that has been part of the thing. And like I said, this time I realized that when you put God first, when you really put him first, things happen for you.
So how did you get introduced into this Southern music?
Oh, the Southern Soul thing. I think when I moved here, you know, I had neighbors and friends. Like the Louisiana custom per se is like they hang out like in front of you, drink a little beer, listen to music. So I listened to a lot of music, and I was like, who is that? What is that? So the first person that I listened to was Pokey Bear. You know, that's my boy. Shout out to you, Pokey. The first person I listened to was like Pokey, and he was singing, they call me Pokey, a big Pokey Bear. And, you know, I'm like, whoa, you know, and I'm listening to it, and I liked it. So I was introduced to other artists, and I listened to it, you know, so I loved it. So I ended up becoming a manager for a popular Southern Soul artist by the name of Romy, Mr. Headband. So through that, he taught me, you know, things, you know, I was going to places and hanging out, you know, doing things, which was magnificent. And I had a chance to hobnob with the people that was in Southern Soul and make friends and stuff. So, but a lot of times, when we go to places, we're like doing a mic check. It's called a sound check, a mic check. And I get up and I be climbing the jam and singing. And he said, man, why don't you quit playing, man? Go on and start singing. I said, man, I ain't doing it. Man, you know, I ain't doing that. So I finally did. I finally started singing. And I began to write and arrange, produce my own music. And shout out to Awesome Bo. He's the one who make all my tracks. Bo makes my tracks. And I go back and I write, I think about it, do it, roll with it. And so far, I have been successful at it. By the grace of God, I got to put him first. I've been successful at it. I write and arrange all my music. You know, from my #1 song is Leave Me Alone. I got Leave Me Alone, Ask. She says she want a sugar daddy. These Ain't My Underwear. And my new one is called Give Me My Southern Soul. Okay. And I have a few more that I am working on. And so far, it has been rewarding. I love it, man.
Did you have a musical background? People just don't start singing out of it, producing it.
I did. When I was in the 7th grade, I began to play the clarinet. Then I got bored. Then I started playing the saxophone. Then I got bored. Then I started playing the trumpet. So I can play about 6 different instruments, whether and read it in the bass clef or treble clef. It didn't even matter. So when I was in the 7th grade, by the 2nd semester, I was in the advanced band. That was like with the seniors and the juniors. So I loved it, man. And then, you know, I can hear something. And it just, you know, I create something. So I try to create lyrics that are, you know how they say, think outside the box? Well, I don't have a box to think outside of. Because I believe that if there is a box that you have to think outside of, that means you was limited from the beginning. That's what that means. You was limited. So you're inside of this box. Now you got to thinking about, I'm gonna take a chance and go outside of the box. I don't have a box, so I try to create and write things that are different, that are outside the box per se. Or I may go this way into a territory that I've never been before and come up with something that may be magnificent. I don't know. But what I do is I share with them, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? And believe it or not, despite the positive comments or even the criticism, I still do it. If I feel it, I still do it. I try to make it like, and I do it. So far, the lyrics that I write has been very coinciding with the title of the song and the beat.
How long have you been putting out music?
Man, I just started not too long ago, you know, and it's still a process. It's still you know, I still go through, you know, rejection and denial, and you know, and one of the biggest things is that some of the promoters know that I used to be on drugs. Some of the artists know that I used to be on drugs, and in some retrospect, they use that against me. You know, they don't want to put me on the shows, or you know, like even some artists will tell the promoter, they don't put them on the show. They do on drugs. Or they say, you know, they hate. I mean, it's like, I understand, but I've always said in every interview that I do, what God got for me, no man can take away. You can make shorten it a little bit until the person realizes something. Because if you have a promoter, I don't care if it can be his best friend or his twin brother, and he said, bro, don't put that dude on the show. But if he's seen my track record of all the shows that I've been on and stuff, and he said, man, I can't listen to what you say. That dude finna bring people to my thing. Yeah. So I think they're starting to see that. Like I'm still experiencing it. Haters. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I've had people tell me, he say, man, your songs are better than those who've been out there 5, 6, 7, 10 years. I said, thank you, man. You know, I'm honored and I'm humbled for that. I don't clown or joke around. And it's like, you know, and bro, they do that. You know, and at one point in time, I used to worry about what people thought about me, but I don't care. You know, because that means that if you want to talk about me, that means you paying attention. That means that I'm doing something that you can't do, or that you want to do and don't know how. That has to be the thing. Why don't you want me on the show? Or if I'm on the show with you, you're gonna tell them, then let me go before him. Because I like to think of myself as an entertainer. I'm not gonna ever say that I'm the best singer. I'm like a Sir Charles or TK Soul or Calvin Richardson. No. But one of the biggest factors I do when I do this Southern Soul thing here is I entertain you. I'm going to make sure that you are entertained. You're going to know that Sugar Daddy been there. Guaranteed. You're going to know, oh, Sugar Daddy was there. And I have no animosity of nothing against anybody. I tell those who hate on me, let me do me. I'm not bothering you. Let me do me. Yeah. That's it. I'm going to get up there and I'm going to love everybody, and I'm going to, you know. And I like to say, when I get up, the people know. People know I started to have a great following. You know, one of my biggest followers is, she's 9 years old, Royalty. Little 9-year-old, she know all my songs. You just don't know how that made me feel to like have a little night. She know my songs and everything. I had a chance to see her not too long ago, and people starting to pay attention and take notice. Hey, you're doing pretty good. I like that, and that's all that's all I like to hear. And you know what? So I haven't had a chance. I never had an experience. Man, you wasn't on your game today. Because when I step out there, it's almost as if you done lit a fire underneath my ass. Because I'm finna come out and go party. I'm coming out and try to make it. And you know, and because of that, I can honestly say that I have opened up for Calvin Richardson, Pokey, Tucker, TK Soul. Actually, I'm about to open up for TK Soul again. And tonight, you know, Juneteenth. And I'm going to open up for Tucker next week at another Juneteenth in Mansfield, Louisiana. It's going down, you know, and I'm on a lot of shows coming up. Bro, all I can tell you, man, God is good. That's the only way I can say it, you know. Yeah. You know, that's it, man. God is good, bro. I love Southern Soul. That's what I do, man. I'm Sugar Daddy. Whether they like it or not, I am Sugar Daddy.